Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For today's Scribble I decided to use a classic Parker 25 fountain pen in the Flighter version. I believe there are two more versions for this model, the black and white versions. I remember when I was first looking at these fountain pens I was tempted by the white version because of that beautiful white and blue combo. But when I was looking to get one at that time, they were not available, or at least none that were in a good condition. Now I had the fountain pen for a couple of years and to be honest I used it only once and then I forgot about it. More recently it was brought to my attention only because a lot of people ask me if by any chance the fountain pens that I am making are inspired by the Parker 25. That's when I remembered that I had one and decided to get it back in the rotation. And today is the day I'm going to be using it again. And no, while there are some similarities, this is not the fountain pen that I drew my inspiration from when I decided to start making my fountain pens. Anyway, having a quick look at the pen, what attracted me the most about it is the sleek and simple design. It has a very retro futuristic look to it, or at least that's how it looks to me. And I think the design in its own way, it's innovative and it has a no-nonsense feel to it. I don't remember any other fountain pens from that period of time that are standing up as much as this 25 did. If I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments below. The Flighter version has the cap and the barrel made out of brushed metal, stainless steel I assume. It comes with a well-designed cap that has a simple clip with a plastic insert, which I assume they put it in there to make sure you don't cut or damage whatever you are clipping it to. The cap also caps into place over the section with a nice and firm click, but it also posts on the barrel secure, deep and flush to the body of the barrel, thanks to the step barrel design that it has. The section on the fountain pen is made out of plastic, which actually makes the pen very comfortable in hand, with a metal band just at the end of it. It gives the feeling that the nib is actually integrated with the section. There are very small step-ups between the nib and the section and the barrel. Absolutely not an issue, at least for me, when holding the pen. My pen, when I bought it, did not came with a converter included, but it did came with an empty cartridge, which looks to be like an older version cartridge that Parker was making. Even says on it, made in USA. Fortunately, the cartridge can be reused and that is what I think I'll be doing for today. However, if you do want a converter, you can use one of the more modern Parker converters without any issues. Speaking of converters, let's fill it up and see what's what with a quick writing sample. I will be filling up the cartridge with an ink that I have not used in a while now, the Everflo Basic Black ink, and I will be using my syringe to do so obviously. The Parker cartridges, as far as I can see, takes up a lot of ink. I basically filled it up with 2.5 syringes, and the size of the syringe that I'm using is pretty much the size of a regular converter, maybe slightly smaller. As I was filling the cartridge, in my mind I was hoping that the nib was good. As I said, it's been a while since I used it and at that time I did not really remember how good the nib was. However, whatever its state was, I was committed to it, so I pushed through. And, surprise surprise, after letting the fountain pen rest for about 4 minutes on the table, I picked it up and it started writing from the first line on the page without any fuss. Obviously I was very happy about it, there was no need to fiddle with it in any way and everything was ready to go. I tried it unposted and it is just the right length for my hand, but it feels a little bit light. I think for my hand is better when I'm using it posted, and most probably that is how I will be always using it. It balances quite perfect in my hand posted. The nib is working without any flow on both sides. The reverse it's a little bit thinner, barely visible, but it works just as well as it does on the normal side. The nib does feel a little bit stiff, it is as stiff as it can get, but that might not be a bad thing. That might actually make it perfect for drawing consistent lines on the page. And if that is what you needed or wanted, I think the nib should work perfectly. I kind of think of it more as a technical fountain pen, and the ink flow is perfect without any skips or any other annoying characteristics. Now let's get to scribbling and see what we can get out of it and how it would hold up for a longer period of time. I did not have any idea on what I wanted to draw today, but as I was doing the writing sample and filling the nib on the paper, an idea did pop in my head. I wanted to have a lot of straight lines, or at least that's what I was seeing in my head, as much as possible, and see what I can get out of that nib. There was a picture that popped in my head as I was thinking about it, and I decided to give it a shot. As mentioned, the consistent line that the nib was giving me made me think of the fountain pen as more of a technical fountain pen, and I wanted to use it as such. So I went for a very simple scribble, basically, some dandelion seeds with some sort of water droplets on them. As mentioned, I got the inspiration from an image that I've seen on the internet. The main idea that I liked was how the water droplets kind of looked like eyes to me. Basically behind these dandelion seeds there was a sunset, and the sun was reflecting through the water droplets and kind of make them look like eyes to me. I'm not sure if I ruined it a little bit. At the end I was a little bit unsure, so I stopped because I felt that was either the end of it or I had no idea in what direction I needed to pull the scribble towards. I did use a little bit of color, kind of took a big risk there because I was not sure how it will interact with the black ink that I am using. Fortunately, it wasn't a big mess, but they did combine a little bit, so that orange that I used is not popping as strong as I should have, or maybe I would have liked it. Speaking of the black ink, the bad thing about using coloring for a while that layers nice is that once you jump back on black color, you forget that black doesn't really layer that well, and you approach the design in a different state of mind, and then when it hits you, you realize it's a little bit too late and you can't really save some parts of the drawing. With black ink, or as black as this one is, you kind of have to build the layers by hashing your areas rather than use the nib as a brush replacement. That is one of the reasons why the bottom part where the seeds are connecting feels maybe a little bit disconnected from the rest of the drawing. Could also be that I choose to do a different type of line at the bottom and not be consistent with the rest of the drawing. So to wrap it up, I do like the composition that I got out of the scribble and the idea behind it, just maybe unsure about some parts and how they were executed. Overall though, I like it, simple and clean. I'm actually thinking to start using more of blue-black inks, or at least a grey ink that allows me to build up values. I've really been enjoying the last two drawings that I did, and I think I want to continue more on that theme. But I need to use inks that allows me to build values. Hey, and from time to time, nothing wrong about a black and white drawing either. Anyway, with the drawing aside, the fountain pen in essence worked like a champ without any issues that I can think of. I definitely like it posted, especially when drawing. The length was just perfect once it was posted. I was expecting and kind of wanted the nib to feel a little bit more dry on this Fabriano paper, but the flow was actually very good, maybe too wet in some situation. Had difficulties doing the very tiny droplets. That is why some of them turn out essentially black without any light effect on them. Because the darn nib was juicier than what I was expecting. Not a bad thing, just found it funny because my expectation did not meet reality. Even reverse was problematic. The only way I was able to get the thin lines that were fading towards the end is by keeping the fountain pen very light above the paper and then just moving in my hand very quickly while lifting slightly. So great fountain pen in the end, no complaints about it. As for the ink, I still love it. It's not 100% jet black, it's slightly towards a dark charcoal kind of an ink, and I do like that about it, but still doesn't allow you for a lot of overlap. Even when it gets to its full maximum black between quotes, it doesn't get any darker than that no matter how much you layer it. Maybe next week I'm going to use the blue-black that they used to make as well. It's been a while since I used that one too, and I'm curious if that one was layering or not. Anyway, starting to run out of ideas on what to say, so I'll take that as a hint that it's time for me to get quiet and let you enjoy the rest of the Scribble in peace and, well, quiet. And as usual, if you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I will reply to them as soon as I get a chance. Wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, whatever you are. Take care. Bye.